We see moose. Oh my God, I couldn't do it. This bad boy. Look at these fucking vibes.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
What's up, beautiful people? Today I'm gonna run you through our entire Colorado trip, but we're gonna be doing it in a little different fashion than usual. So let me know down in the comments if you like this format. But first, before we jump into that, I don't wanna take up too much of your time, but I do have to let you know that in literally like 5 days, I'm gonna be upgrading the titties. That means I have a whole month planned of spicy content with Kristen, who's also coming with me to upgrade her boobies. We're gonna be booby twins. It's gonna be amazing. I will be vlogging while I am down in Miami getting this done, but the best stuff, the stuff you don't wanna miss, is the stuff on the spicy sites, which is always linked down in the description. You have to check it out, especially the main spicy site, the O and the F, because I'm running a fundraiser where I'm literally gonna be doing something that rhymes with denigration if we hit the goal. I don't plan on actually hitting the goal. The goal, by the way, is basically paying off my entire titties, which would be very, very nice because I've come into some credit card debt lately aside from that, and it would be very helpful. But I don't plan on making that much in the fundraiser, but if we even get to half of that, I have some really crazy boundary pushing stuff that I'm gonna be doing. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into my Colorado trip, because honestly, every year me and Hunter take a summer trip. Usually it's in August. This time it was in earlier June because it just gets busy that time of year for him. Every year it just gets better and better with him, I swear. I was sad when we booked this trip because I had my heart set on Switzerland. That's like my dream trip. I've always wanted to go to Switzerland. I feel like that's the one place I would want to live if I wasn't living in the US. And I've always wanted to actually go there and confirm that I would love it as much as I think I would love it. Earlier this year, we were planning the trip and realized that flying there, because I'm such a pussy when it comes to flying and like my comfort and I have like claustrophobia and a fear of flying and all this stuff, I really, really need first class when we do international flights. And it was just so expensive, even not for first class. And I couldn't imagine sitting on a plane for that long, being cramped in between other people, just awful. And when you have to actually check bags, it's almost as expensive to check like 2 bags per person as it is to upgrade to first class. So anyway, not to try to sound bougie or anything by being like, oh my God, I need first class. But I realized that even without first class, that trip was just too expensive for us this year, trying to save for a house and all of the other stuff we're trying to get caught up on, like my taxes and things. So I was devastated when I found out that I wasn't going to Switzerland, but Colorado it's almost as good. I love Colorado in the winter for snowboarding. It is probably even better in the summer. So through my IRL Instagram pictures, I'm gonna put that up on the screen. It's Tara Babcock IRL on Instagram. I do have that account as well as Tara Babcock Games, but this is the one we're focusing on right now. The main one, which is just at Tara Babcock. Through the lens of that account where I post every single day, pretty much behind the scenes of my life, we are going to recount the wonderful Colorado 2024 summer trip. Let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open the first post here. The caption is, made it to paradise after a 10-hour road trip with my favorite human, day 1. This first picture here is in Beaver. We travel past Beaver, Utah, like all the time, but they always have signs everywhere that's like, I love Beaver. Once I got a sticker that says I love Beaver, and they just love the innuendo. And his name is something stupid. Every time we pass the sign, it's like at a gas station too, but every time we pass the sign, it's like, meet Dan or something, the Beaver. It doesn't rhyme, it's not good, but like I always love taking a picture with him. I took a picture with him once after snowboarding and ended up while walking back to the car falling on my ass with my whole ass and thong and everything just popping out in front of everybody because it was icy. So this was a nice redemption arc. Once we got into Steamboat, Colorado, which was the first place we stayed at, oh my God, our hotel, or our Airbnb more accurately, was so cute. It was like in the middle of the city on top of a bunch of shops, and it was kind of just like a flat, one of those like 2-story flats where you have the whole floor as yours to play with. I absolutely loved it. It was so gorgeous. And the most amazing thing about Steamboat was that not only was it at its high, like 70 degrees, getting away from 120-degree weather in Vegas was probably my favorite part of the whole trip, but 70 degrees maximum, nice and sunny, and then randomly there would be like showers and stuff. So this is me with Ben Franklin, just like walking around the city. The city is very cute. It doesn't feel as bougie snowboarding town as a lot of the other ones that we go to, like Breckenridge and Vail, and I really liked that. Also, it's on this giant river that everyone goes into in tubes, and it's like really big, and there's a bunch of like cool, trendy restaurants and bars like right on the river where you can sit like right next to the river in an outdoor like little table or something, or up on a balcony. It was so cute and such a good vibe. One of our friends or acquaintances, I guess, from Hunter's work was saying that Steamboat is one of his favorite places in the world, and I can totally see why. We actually matched, of course, our shoes because we got Danner boots in Colorado, in Denver last time we went down there, which was only a few months ago for one of his conventions or whatever. And on the last day in the rain, we ended up buying matching boots, so we had to rock those that day. And this was inside our Airbnb. As you can see, it's a lot of windows. It's not as windowy as my condo at home, but such a cute condo. Could definitely fit like 3 couples, and we had the whole thing to ourselves. I was only sad that we didn't get to stay there for more than 2 days. The balcony was exceptional. Oh my God, I loved it so much. Just getting in there, getting changed, and going out for dinner was awesome. And of course, I had to take a photo with the Come and Go, because anytime I'm in Colorado, my favorite gas station is of course Come and Go, because there's no better name. Honestly, I've been looking all over the world for fucking Come and Go merchandise. I don't know why they don't have them in every single store. Like, oh my God. So day one was just a long road trip, lots of sightseeing. We got to see a few roads that we hadn't seen before because we've been to Denver, we've driven into Vail and Breck and even Telluride, but we've never driven to Steamboat Springs before. The second day, we did the Thunderbolt hike, which is basically just the hike from the bottom of the snowboarding mountain to the top. It was so beautiful. It was like all grassy and underneath the gondola, and it was a beautiful day. Oh, it was such a great hike. It was tiring. It wasn't too long, but it was definitely like a ton of elevation. I think it was like 3,000 feet of elevation or close to that. We took pictures, like really cute pictures of us like kissing right on the edge of the mountain like this, next to the gondola. I got this cool picture of a butterfly. I was like sitting in the grass like trying to get this picture of a butterfly because they're so gorgeous just flying around on wildflowers. Oh, it was such a good vibe. It's exactly what I want to live in, and I just can't wait to move either back to the Pacific Northwest or somewhere in Colorado, because that's me and Hunter's dream, is to just actually be in nature, not in like the desert. Here's a picture of us together on the mountain. And this is just like our view, which is so much better in person. Like you can't just take it all in. I kept stopping on the hike and being like, oh my God, it's amazing. It just really was amazing. And we ended up taking the gondola back down, because if you take the gondola down after hiking up, it's free. Like I said in the caption, a hike to the top of the mountain and had lunch. Then we walked around the river. We did do that. That was really fun. We watched a hailstorm at a brewery. That was something that we did. Because like I said, it just kept on and off raining. And it was like a warm-ish and coldish rain at the same time. So it was really cool. The hail was huge. We had to stay inside, and everyone was like, oh my God, because everyone was outside drinking and stuff, because you want to be right next to the river. The next day, we decided to hike in Rocky Mountain, and we did this place called the Ozu Falls, I think it was. But we did it a little bit later in the day because we wanted to travel. Basically, the way we structured our trip was 2 days in every city, kind of. So it was 2 days in Steamboat, then it was Boulder, then it was Breck, then it was Aspen. So on this day, we had to drive a really long ways through the Rocky Mountains, which was such a beautiful fucking drive. We did like the really elevated Rocky Mountains drive, which was amazing. And by the time we got to the hike we wanted to do, it was probably around 2 p.m. So while this hike was beautiful, it was really saturated with kids and families and people, especially at 2 p.m. We never hike at 2 p.m. We're morning people. But this time we kind of had no choice, and we wanted to fit in as many Rocky Mountain hikes as we could. So we did, I think it was called the Ozu Falls, which is kind of a popular hike, and it was really cool, as you can see. I got this little squirrel. It was so cute. He ran up to us, and he's like begging for food. Like, he was very domesticated, I guess I would say, but I got this cool picture of him because he was so cute, so human. This is the view from the drive, like I was telling you about. Through the Rockies, we stopped for a second. I had to pee, and I was just like, God damn. The Rocky Mountains are fucking gorgeous. Here is a little video of the waterfall. The waterfall was fucking cool, and you are spoiled with water features in this area. Like, everywhere has some kind of stream. It's just amazing to see running water, although there are mosquitoes, which is kind of annoying. But you don't get streams like that here in Vegas. Even when you go up to Mount Charleston to do hikes, there's like little streams and stuff, but there's nothing like this. Wildflower photos, a picture in front of the waterfall, a picture of Zud Hunter's Jeep overlooking where we were driving the Rocky Mountains. We made it into Boulder, and we were staying at, it was like a Marriott or something, but it was like the best we could find in Boulder, just to find out that there's like a huge music festival there. So most people who were staying there were going to the music festival. We had a reservation at this cool sushi place. I've learned to love sushi, and me and Hunter got a bunch of really cool Japanese beer. He had no idea that Japanese beer could be so good, but this one that he's holding here, he was like really into it. So if you ever get a chance to try the Kawada in the blue label, I forget, what does it say? The Twilight Ale, you should check it out. And here's all of our Japanese beers put together. The place was actually really cool that we went to. I forget the name, but the owner would come around and actually check to make sure if you're doing well, and he was really hospitable. I loved that. This day, the next day, was my absolute favorite day of the whole fucking trip. This place in the Rockies, it wasn't even in the Rockies, it was like a national forest down underneath. It's like Brainerd or something. It's a totally different place from the Rockies, so it's a little more remote because everyone's going to the Rockies and it's so close. So it's like an adjacent park. But we got this whole fucking lake to ourselves. But first, in the morning, while we were starting the hike, the moment we're starting the hike, we see moose. We see mooses. Mooses. Hunter had been wanting to see mooses forever. He wanted to see them since we backpacked in Yellowstone and Grand Tetons. We never saw one ever, not even driving through Yellowstone. And we finally got a good glimpse of 3 mooses. It was so cool. Right in the morning, perfect lighting. I wish I had had like a zoom lens so I could have gotten like a more professional photo of them, but they were so fucking cool and Hunter was hyped. And that means I got to get a moose plushie. It's right there on the screen. Every time I see an animal in the wild, Hunter then lets me get like that plushie, and that's how he kind of makes sure I don't get way too many plushies. But let me go back and show you what this fucking place looked like. It was one of the most beautiful hikes I'd ever done in my entire life, if not the most beautiful. It was like, I did a little cold plunge in there. You get to see me getting in the water here. It was so cold, my bones hurt though. I wasn't even able to like dip down all the way because it was so slippery on the rocks. Hunter dipped in, but like, oh my God, I couldn't do it. This was immediately after we saw the mooses. You start the hike kind of on this like really cool road that is kind of closed off, and you're just surrounded by trees and Pacific Northwest shit that I miss. So it's nice to be in Colorado and kind of feel the same way, the same vibes. It's the vibes I grew up with and totally took for granted as a teenager and stuff, and now I just want them back so bad. I saved a little worm, a big worm actually, that was on the road, and just like look at this. These are some views from that hike. Like, wow, amazing. We packed lunch, like look at this vibe. There was like some ice and snow, but we got like a really nice fucking sunny day. It was, oh God, it was just so perfect, you guys. I can't even explain it. Perfect day. We had lunch there and then we hiked back and we only saw like 6 people and it was all on the way back. So, oh my God, such a good day. I'm sure we had lunch somewhere cool. I don't remember where it was. The next day we went to a hike that was also in the Rockies that was like 5 different lakes at once. So it was really cool, but it still was not nearly as cool as the hike the day before. One of the lakes was super, super blue. Like, it's called Emerald Lake, I think. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but each one was a little bit different. One was kind of swampy, one was high up. It's like, it was very cool, but it was kind of windy and kind of wet and just wasn't as cool, and there were more people on this hike. But we did see this bad boy while driving in, because we were doing it as a sunrise hike. So we got there at like 4 a.m. and look, oh my God, it does not do it justice on the picture or in the video. Like, he was massive. He was so cool and so massive. So of course, I also got a buck plushie later on. This is a picture I took of Hunter on the really, really blue lake. Of course, I got some pictures with my good camera too. It was pretty, like, this is all very pretty, but just nothing compared to the day before with the blue skies and having it all to ourselves. There were some like cool little river crossings like this. There was some elevation at the end that was really nice. A bunch of lakes, but it just felt more touristy. It wasn't as cool. Then we had like a 2 or 3 hour drive that we had to make into Breckenridge after the morning hike. So we decided to, before our check-in time at 4 p.m., we would actually go to the spa. So we got a bunch of spa treatments and stuff. That was cool. And we went to this place called Hearthstone, which is like in an old house for dinner, which was really nice, really bougie. The steak was really good, but it was just a good vibe. We were like upstairs by the window, and it was just very relaxing and super cool. I loved it. The next day was our first actual day in Breckenridge, so we decided to take the gondola all the way up and do some mini golfing. The mini golfing there was not good, but I did happen to win, which is my favorite shit. Don't let my outfit fool you. I was just cold because I think I'm used to desert shit, but it was such a beautiful day and it's so pretty up there. The cabin that we got in Breckenridge. Oh my God, now that I swipe to it, I remember it's just a cute, perfect little cabin. Everything was like dark features and gloomy. And when you wake up in the morning, there's like a view of a giant mountain there and like tons of trees, and it's foggy in the morning. So I said, I want to wake up to a gloomy forest morning every day with Hunter. And I really do. Like, that was a view from our fucking bed in the master upstairs. So in the morning, we woke up before we went up on the gondola, and we did like, we put on these ponchos because we weren't sure how rainy it was gonna be. And we ended up doing this really cool, like, just walk behind the cabin. There were like a few trails and stuff, and ended up finding this little reservoir. I took a ton of wildflower pictures that day. And there's this like fuzzy thing up here in the corner. It looks like a ball sack, so funny. But there's different birds I haven't seen before, different wildflowers. I just love it. And we cooked breakfast together with our own ingredients and just had breakfast on the balcony. And yeah, it was a little cold, but it was just so cozy. Like, look at the vibes. Look at these fucking vibes. Those are goddamn vibes right there. And then we went up on the mountain, and by then it was sunny and it was nice. I kicked his fucking ass in mini golf. Look at this shit. I'm 49, he's 54. That's right, bitch. So I'm like 2-4. 2-4. We then rode the gondola and we went shopping. It was a very full day, very full day. I remember I was looking for shorts like these. I actually bought these shorts on that trip because I was looking for shorts like this that are kind of loose. I can like wear them over a bikini, because when I wear my my actual leggings, my like hiking or gym leggings over a bikini, it really goes into my asshole and doesn't feel good and chafes. Oh, and this was the night. This is my second favorite day for sure. So we went to this place called Breckenridge Brewery, and it was kind of out of the way. Yeah, Breckenridge Distillery. It was kind of out of the way, and we had to do a little bit of a walk for it. It was like a 40-minute walk away from like the main area where we were hanging out. Or actually, it was a 40-minute walk from our Airbnb, but like, it was the coolest, when I tell you, it was the coolest distillery brewery vibe ever. String lights, huge, open. They had a place where you can like taste stuff and buy directly from the distillery. It was such a good vibe. We were actually not planning on drinking that night because it had been a few days of us drinking in a row, and we were like, let's just chill tonight and then wake up fresh in the morning. But it was such a good vibe. We were like, oh, fuck it, we had to do it. So he got the old fashioned that was smoked, and we got like a tiered thing of like, what was this, Mai Tais, margaritas, I don't fucking know. But, oh, best vibe ever. I have a thing for cool brewery vibes. Even before I was a drinker, I just love a string light vibe with like metal and wood and all that. I just loved it so much. So what a fucking great day. The next day we went down to Dillon Reservoir and I did paddleboarding for the first time, which is something I've wanted to do for so fucking long. You guys don't even know. I've been wanting to paddleboard for so long. I've been dying to do it. I was a little afraid to stand up though, so I didn't do a lot of standing up. Even though I knew for sure I would do it, I wasn't 100% sure that I wouldn't fall off a couple times, and it was very windy that day. And they were like, if you fall in the water, just get out as soon as possible, because otherwise you're gonna like freeze up and your body's gonna go into shock and you're gonna drown basically. So we had to wear our fucking life jackets, and that spooked me a little bit. But I was looking hot, I had fun. We actually did a really, really cool drinking night once we got home that was like an homage to, this is like a view of on the balcony of our fucking cabin, by the way. So what we did after, actually, was we went to this 7-course bougie weird meal at this place, this wine place, where you get to do like the chef's tasting. So you're sitting at the fucking restaurant like table, at the chef table, and there's only like an allowance of like 2 to 3 couples to even do this any night. And it's just like a 7-course meal created by the chef with pairings way too bougie for me, but I dressed up cute and I enjoy experiences like that, even if it's not necessarily my thing. But what we did afterward is we just went and sat on the balcony with a bunch of blankets and we did like an homage to our initial date nights when we first met before we were actually a couple, where we would just like mix shitty juice with vodka and just sit and talk. And we did that and watched the sunset. And yeah, that was, every day on this trip is like one of my favorite days. I swear to God. This is the sunset that we saw. We were looking at the aspen trees. I don't know if you guys have ever seen aspen trees, but it's so trippy because they glitter. They, like, each individual leaf goes in different directions and they kind of glimmer and glitter. And it was just a beautiful experience, kind of harkening back to the beginning of our relationship. And it was really like a bonding moment. I fucking loved that night so much. But what we ended up doing when we woke up in the morning is we're like looking at these things we've been hearing about the whole trip called 14ers. And these 14ers are mountains in Colorado that are over 14,000 feet of elevation, and they are all hikeable to varying degrees and, you know, accessibilities. But we realized that that fucking mountain we had been looking at from our beds in the cabin was one of the 14ers called Quandary Peak. So we were like, fuck it. After a night of drinking together and bonding, we're gonna wake up at fucking 4 a.m. and we're gonna do Quandary fucking Peak. And we ended up fucking doing it. And let me tell you, I've never had that much altitude sickness in my entire life. I'm like hungover. I was like pushing through and it's like, oh my God, it's like fucking 3,300 feet of elevation gain, more than I've ever done before. And once you get up past like 12,000 feet, which is probably the highest I've ever been like exerting myself, I was like stopping every 10 fucking steps. It was the hardest hike I've ever done by far. And when I was taking these pictures that you're seeing on the screen right now, I thought I was gonna die. I barely had anything to eat for lunch because I was like, I'm dizzy. I don't even know. I just wanted to get down. But I ended up taking a bunch of cool pictures of him as well. Then we drove 2 hours into Aspen and settled into the fucking, what is it called? The W, which is where I like to stay if I can, even though it's a little bougie. The Aspen one was all right, whatever, but it was 4th of July at this point. So I decided to put on some 4th of July looking gear and we decided to just walk around and find some dinner to get because we actually missed our dinner reservation at 5 p.m. We found Hunter Street. This is a view from the top of Quandary Peak. I was trying to do it justice. I swear to God, that was the hardest hike of my entire life. Like, I was like, it keeps fucking going. And I was getting mad on the way down, like so much scree, and I'm like slipping, and I'm like so fucking tired, but we fucking did it, and I felt like a badass for doing our first 14er. Look at that view from the top of the mountain. But yeah, very chill night. We just kind of got dinner and went home. There were like birds flying around. There's like a whole cap of snow up there. This was the drive from Quandary Peak in Breckenridge area to Aspen. Very beautiful. Some sad stuff with a bird happened there, but I don't want to ruin this video like that. And the coolest part of Quandary Peak, of course, was the goats, the mountain goats, the little white ones. So cute. So of course, I got a white mountain goat plushie later on. But yeah, they were so cool, so friendly. They were right there. It was annoying. People's dogs kept scaring them off, but oh my God, it was so cute. They were so fucking cool. Like, look at these motherfuckers. So cool. And like my dad had always said like, oh, they're kind of dangerous, but they were so sweet and friendly. So our last day in Aspen, we decided to only stay like 1.5 days in Aspen and go home a day earlier. We rode up the gondola, looked at the Aspen Mountain, not Snowmass, like regular Aspen Mountain. I got my plushie. You can see my goat plushie right there. We had a very, very expensive breakfast before we went up there. Like this that you're seeing on the screen right now was like $80. Like this plus like the same thing. Hunter got like a similar thing. And I'm like, dude, Aspen is ridiculously expensive and way too bougie. I always imagined Aspen would look like Vail. Just kind of like a bougie, you know, place where you can go shopping. That's really cute, like, you know, fucking mountain town, string lights everywhere, cobblestone streets, and it kind of was that. But then all the shops were like not my thing. It was literally just like, oh yeah, Gucci, Prada, or whatever. So yeah, here are some things. I got Eve's Way, reminds me of Eve. This is the Aspen Mountain. We were just up there walking around. This is on the gondola, my little goat. And we played another thing of mini golf at a burger place. Again, awful mini golf, but at least better than the one on Breck. Oh my God, that's like 2 stars. And I lost this time, unfortunately. Very sad. And then after that, we went to the hotel bar and we got these cool like drinks, the like little fucking watermelon drinks. We're like, fuck it. And we had the best dinner ever at the end. We had ended up walking, this is like a 40-minute walk out in the middle of nowhere, and the view was so fucking gorgeous, dude. Like, it was just like sunset and beautiful, and we were right on the balcony, and they said they put us at the best seat in the whole restaurant. It was a little bougie, but it was just like so gorgeous. Like, look at that sunset that we got to watch from our dinner. And then the next day we just drove home, and once again, best trip ever with the best person ever. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like the video and subscribe if you did, and I will see you with an F&M and a Before the Boobs try-on haul very soon. Don't forget to check out those fucking links. You will not regret it.